Hey, ho, hey, ho, hey, ho, hey, ho.
Aw, that was good. Your voice did like a really fun thing there.
I've been singing.
Have you?
Yeah.
Because
in my house alone.
You did it like Sarah McLachlan, like, yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's a gift. Welcome to Hype Night. Everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's warm out. Everybody's
It's warm out. In Toronto. We're in Toronto.
Yeah.
Ontario, Canada.
That's true.
For those of you listening or watching from somewhere other than that.
Mm-hmm.
It's really hot here.
Yeah, and it's gonna stay hot forever.
I don't
that winter's
like it.
never coming.
No, I like it. I'm one of those
like it
people.
hot. I like it hot.
No, I don't. And I really want to say, let's start this off. Let's air some grievances right off the top of Hype Night. It's not our style on Hype Night, but I'm going to do it. I don't like when people are like, don't complain about the hot weather because winter's coming and you, like, don't. It's like, you complain about winter the whole winter. And some people like winter. You're assuming that everyone likes summer, and you're wrong.
That's me.
Are you one of those people?
Yes, I'm like,
Dale.
because I complain I don't complain in the winter, I complain in the fall because I hate the fall.
I love the fall. Oh my God, Dale, we're learning so much about each other today.
Fall. I hate it.
I love the fall.
It's a terrible time
of
year.
The greatest season.
It's a shit season.
It's
a terrible season.
We should do a debate where we it's like be it resolved. One of us like be resolved that fall is the greatest season that ever could be, and the other
just
one
the vitriol of me,
just hating it.
Yeah, just the rot and the terribleness of it.
If you're watching, let us know what season you like.
Yeah, what's your favorite season, and are we allowed to complain about the heat?
Are we allowed to complain about? Yes, we're allowed to complain about whatever we want. That's what I say.
I will never complain about the heat because I hate the cold.
Yes, but I will never complain about the cold because I hate the heat.
Okay.
So we're agreeing.
Well, then just don't complain about the cold.
Well, then just don't complain about the... What?
No, because you like it.
Welcome to Hype Night.
Welcome to Hype Night.
How's it going, everybody? Thanks for joining us.
You may just be joining us for the first time. If so, this is Hype Night, where we bring on a wonderful, amazing woman, and we give her all the hype that she deserves.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And if you're watching us and you've watched us before and you're back, thank you for coming back. We're so happy to see you.
Welcome back.
Yeah. If you're listening to us on Podbean,
yes,
because you're like, you know what, I like my hype in podcast form.
Yeah. I like to secretly listen while I'm working so people don't know I'm just having good vibes in my ears.
I know.
That's the place to do it.
I love a secret listen at work.
Oh, yeah.
I love a
Like this?
Yesterday today I was listening to the Phantom of the Opera while I worked.
See, that's a secret listen. You gotta be like...
Unabashedly. I was like, Lot 666. And then like...
Sing my
yeah. And I was like, I'm in. It was the right vibe for what I was doing.
Excellent.
So thanks for tuning in. I'm Mel.
I'm Dale. And usually we start each Hype Night by giving each other a little bit of hype.
Yeah.
I'm going to start.
Okay.
We've been going back and watching episodes because we're working on putting things together in a certain way. Mm-hmm. And I've had an opportunity to go back and look at previous Hype Nights. Mm-hmm. She's great.
Oh.
She's fantastic. Melissa's great. She often, I have found, often... take my ramble and make it a more succinct message. Okay. And these hands are wild, and I'm going to try to get them under control.
We have a hand thing. I've been watching episodes too, and we're like, it's very, like, I mean, it's very...
It's too much.
Like a dinosaur. Like a T-Rex. I don't know.
Yeah, there's definitely...
I'm like this a lot. We're both handsy.
Yeah.
We're handsy, but not in the inappropriate way.
No, more in a this way.
Yeah.
Not in a Benny Hill way.
Oh my God, Benny Hill is the perfect example.
He's handsy.
You know that I love that theme song so much. It's a classic.
Yeah, it is a classic.
I used to watch Benny Hill as a kid. Like my parents, we would watch Benny Hill.
My parents let me watch it too, and then I didn't get like what where it's like she's in her underwear, she was taking a shower, and now she's running with a towel. Like it didn't for me. I was like, look at them running.
Yeah, they're playing it now where they chase each other. Now and he's going like this. Yeah,
it's like they pull the loincloths away, and then he has a little. Oh my God. He has like a little leaf. I'm like, oh, that's funny. He has a little leaf as a kid, not being like, oh, now I know.
Now I get it.
What's happening?
Yeah. Well, thanks for that hype, Dale.
Well, it's well deserved because you're really great.
Thanks. Mm-hmm. That's really kind.
That's true.
That's nice hype. I'll hype you now.
Okay.
Because I have that same hype for you where I think you're fantastic. But there's a specific thing I want to say. Mm-hmm. I like about you, Dale, that you always come from a spirit of abundance, even when stuff is going terribly wrong around you, and you're like, I'm in this horrible, like I have to fight corporations to give me what I need. Yeah. You still somehow have a perception that it will all work out, and you have a real sense of abundance. Like, you kind of take things in stride.
Thank you.
And it's really amazing to me.
Thank you. Some people just call it naivete. Like, I'm just like...
But I don't think it is. I think it's different. I think it's not naivete. I think you're like, no. Like, you're sure about it.
But I am earned these things, though.
No, I know, but like most people that I know would give up.
Yeah.
They would be like, well, it's not worth it. It's not going to happen for me.
Yeah.
It's not. And you're like, no.
Like, no.
You have a great sense of self-worth.
Don't.
That's what I'll say about you.
Just keep your promises, big business, and we'll all get along.
That's what I'm talking about.
We'll be fine. Thank you. I will happily take that.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Good self-worth.
Yeah.
There you go. Hype. That's what we do.
Hype.
We compliment each other.
That's hype. I want to say already quickly hello to Maria Fraser, who's watching, and Chrissy.
Hello.
Hello.
Thanks for joining us. Let us know if you have any comments, questions.
Yeah, what your favorite season is, and if we're allowed to complain about the heat.
Yeah, not just the heat. If we're allowed to complain about temperatures. See, it's like a leading question. I just want to say. Leading question. Let's get to our guest,
Let's do it.
Okay, well, I'm really thrilled to have this guest on tonight.
Me too.
I've known her for many years. Mm-hmm. And she does so many things. She's like epically talented. One of my favorite performers to watch on stage. Like truly gifted. Truly gifted. We're really happy to see her.
Yeah.
And I want to get this the music going first because sometimes what happens is I like go to play it and then it like really like it deflates the moment.
Okay, we're not going to deflate the moment today.
Okay, ready?
Okay.
So our guest tonight is the one, the only, Aviva Armour-Ostroff!
Come on in.
And it did it.
It did it. Yay!
Now you come on.
There we go.
Every time I try to fix it. Aviva, welcome.
Welcome.
Thank you.
I feel so terrible about this music. It's awesome. It's a good song.
Right here.
Hi.
It's like I jinxed it. Like I was like, I'm gonna fix it, and then I was like, no, you're not.
I feel like it's all good, and let me tell you why it's all good.
Tell me.
Because you've chosen a wonderful drink for us tonight.
Yes.
I can't remember the name of it.
It's called a michelada.
A michelada.
Yay.
Here we go.
Okay, Jill's gonna get it. I feel like we need different music
up.
for that. We're gonna put this music on for the michelada.
Here we go.
All right.
We're gonna put this like moving into the future music.
So who's gonna make maps?
Aviva. We can all make it. Yeah.
I'll make mats.
Aviva wanted to make this live on the show, and we were like, heck yeah, because usually Dale has some.
It's usually me just spilling things.
Yeah. Okay, so Aviva.
Okay, so you're gonna take your glass.
Okay. I need to.
And you're gonna take your lime.
Okay.
Okay.
And you're gonna give your glass a nice rim job.
Nice. I like when it starts with a rim job. It's a good place
start
to
or finish
start.
with one.
Let's start at the very
Then you're gonna
beginning.
rim job your glasses. The salt.
Some delicious salt.
Here's mats.
Oh, are you doing mats? Oh, and then you're gonna do
I'm doing both.
Okay.
We have a tune in that says no complaining about the weather at all.
Not at all. But what will
Maria
I do?
says don't. None of it.
Okay. Well, fair enough.
Okay, now you're gonna ice your rim job.
Who am I to complain with Maria or disagree with Maria?
Listen, that woman's fierce, man.
How
Hype
do
to
you
Maria.
finish?
She's
How do you
fierce.
solve? Yeah, you can ice me. Go for it, Aviva.
It's so hot.
Since it's so hot, I'm not complaining, but I'll take as much ice as you'll give me. Not complaining.
Hey, they changed the caps on these. They're pretty.
The steam whistle ones, yeah. Tonight, so usually you would make this with, well, you could make it with a Mexican beer, like a Negro Modelo,
Yeah.
like a darker Mexican
Or
beer. I guess.
Tecate.
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 Tecate, I guess. But tonight we decided to use a Canadian Pilsner, the steam whistle.
Yeah.
So Steam Whistle is not a sponsor of the show, but should they want to sponsor us,
They will be now.
Yeah.
get in touch.
Here's the things I love about Steam Whistle's a huge supporter of the art, so I'm very happy about that.
I once did a. Is there not enough ice?
No, you're perfect. I'm just using it all.
I once did a fundraiser and they were sponsored it twice, actually. I think
they're really great.
They're
and
so great.
also, steam whistle.
So now we lime it in.
As much lime as you can.
Okay.
Usually, I like to go for a whole lime myself.
Well, here, there's a bunch here.
Technically, the drinks tonight are sponsored by our Patreon people.
Can I keep the lime in
Our
here?
patrons.
Wrong?
I threw the line in. Was that
Me too,
wrong?
it's wrong.
I don't think it's wrong.
Matt, I'm putting my hand in your glass.
Wrong, it's
And
wrong.
I'm pulling
But
out.
it's a bit wrong.
Is this the first drink, like, tutorial we've had on the show?
This is the first drink tutorial.
Oh my god.
Usually it's just me throwing stuff on the desk.
I feel like what we needed those for.
You can still.
I love this so
Dale,
much lime.
you can still spill things if you want.
One of the greatest inventions is the lime squeezer.
Yeah, that thing.
That
Yeah.
like-
upside down.
I know, I'm making us work for our michelada.
You threw it in again.
Oh, damn it.
Have it.
I'm leaving it.
In there.
It
Yeah.
wants
Okay,
to be.
I've done 2 limes into each one.
Okay, the more lime, the better.
Okay, I took the last lime. Here we go.
I
Great.
could get more lime.
I think we're fine.
Okay.
We're doing good.
We'll get the point.
We'll get the gist.
But those
of
of
it.
you making your micheladas at home, use at least half a lime, if not a whole lime.
Oh my
Okay.
gosh.
Okay,
yes.
cool. Well,
Okay.
we've got about that in here, I think.
Yeah.
Half a lime each, I
Thank
think.
you.
Thank you. Okay, so now we
And
pour
now
these.
you pour your beer.
I love the idea of a beer in ice.
I've learned there's a whole thing now where you don't actually pour it
Yeah.
like this. You pour it so there is a head on it.
Yeah. You know
Because
why?
it helps it not be gassy.
So you don't get gas, right,
Yeah.
in your gut.
But it requires more patience.
Yeah, because you've got to wait for this to settle.
Yeah.
Am I allowed to complain about that?
These are
I
nice
do.
glasses.
I complain about gas and
And
heady beer.
yeah, heady beer and gas.
um,
Heady gas beer.
it has helped though. I've stopped. I've put more gas
Really?
into my beer, and
You've
I find
noticed?
it's helping. Yes,
Yeah, I'm not as bloaty.
I'm super bloaty with beer, and
Right.
but it doesn't stop me. I still drink it.
I'm really glad we're drinking it now. By the end of the episode, Dale's like, oh man.
I'm like, oh, is that what I'm supposed to drink too? Just screen cap this
Just
one.
drink-
Burr,
yeah.
burr, burr.
Let us know what you're drinking at home. Are you having
A
beer?
michelada.
Michelada?
Or
Are
will
you
you be
having,
later?
Or will you be later? Are you having
Should we move these guys?
iced tea? Yeah, we will.
I like that
We're
our
having a lemonade.
our friends that are watching are talking to each other, and that's really nice.
I love that.
Everybody's getting together.
You know what? One of my favorite things
Matt,
about
here you
doing
go.
the show is like that we build a little like community of
Yeah.
like our digital studio
Alcoholics.
audience.
And they
Yes,
talk back and
alcoholics,
forth
yeah.
to each other. Okay, this goes away.
Yay! Okay.
Cheers.
Cheers. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Yay, and thanks
having
for making these micheladas.
Thank you for having me.
Mm. Oh yeah. Oh, it's so salty. So good and salty.
That's pretty great.
Does it need more lime? Probably. A bit.
More lime is better,
Yeah.
but you get the picture.
Get the
I get the
point.
gist of it. I mean, we
like
could
it.
pour our lime peels in there. I might
Yeah.
do it.
I think
True.
that, but I don't think
Lime.
are we supposed to?
But
I'm
a
doing it.
refreshing summer drink.
I'm throwing
It's
some
so
lime peels in,
refreshing.
guys.
Dale, that was really satisfying
Just
the way
threw
you
'em in.
did that.
You want a handful of lime
Yeah,
peels?
give me a handful of lime pills.
Here, check it
Let's
out.
class this joint up. Yeah.
More lime peels.
Nice.
Nice. Okay. Well,
Aviva.
hello.
Hello.
Oftentimes we start
Hello.
hype night with the best part of your day, but today we're going to switch it around. Today
Yeah.
we are going to do
Our new favorite thing.
our new favorite thing.
Cool. I like
Okay.
switching it around.
Yeah. So, new favorite thing.
Yes.
I can't remember what mine was.
I can start.
You start
I have a really random new favorite thing this week. So sometimes I get phone calls and I don't recognize the number, so I let it go to voicemail. And recently I've been getting, Matt's already laughing behind the camera because he knows. I get messages in what I think is Mandarin. I don't think it's Cantonese. It sounds like Mandarin to me. And there's music in the background, and it's a woman speaking Mandarin. And I have no idea what
pre-recorded?
pre-recorded, and I love them. Like, I hope when I see a number that I don't recognize, I'm like, I hope it's a woman leaving me a message in Mandarin, because they are delightful. Like, they sound really beautiful, and like it's a very lilty sort of sounding language, and then there's music, and I don't know what it's for, and that's also why I love it. I'm like, why is this person calling
Play
me?
one on the show and see if somebody can.
If someone can identify, yeah.
Yeah,
It's
what's happening? I was getting a bunch of Mandarin phone calls as well, and I asked a Mandarin speaking friend of mine what it was, and it was conversation. It was like informing me that I need to call the consulate.
amazing.
Yeah, which I'm like, this message is definitely not for me because I don't know which
But
consulate I should be
I
even
just
Right.
love that.
contacting. at all.
Oh my God, I hope that's what it is.
I hope it's not. It could be a scam, though.
Oh, no, I know. Like, I'm never going to respond to it. That's the other thing is, like, I love it because it's like, I'm never going to call this person back. But it's like this lovely little random surprise of like, I'll be like, oh, who called me? And it's like, it's just like it's like now it's my friend.
Nice.
Cool.
Yeah.
All
It's
right.
weird, but I like it. It's my new favorite thing.
That's a wonderful
It's a good
new
new
favorite
thing.
thing.
Thank you.
I would say right now, my new favorite thing is an old favorite thing that I used to do all the time.
Okay.
And that's just painting my nails.
You're good at it, Dale. You're so good at it.
I talk about it a lot. These aren't painted right now, but my toes are.
Look
I
how
did those
good.
myself.
Yeah.
It's not easy to do it by yourself.
Yeah, I'm good at it, and my nails are great, and I'm just into it right now.
Cool.
Nice.
That's great,
What's your
Dale.
favorite color to paint?
I always in the reds and the pinks and stuff
Yeah.
like that. Because when I was in high school, there was always like black or
Yeah.
dark blue
Right.
and stuff. Now I'm like, I don't know, let's do like those regular reddy kinds of
Yeah.
colors. Yeah.
Do you
love
ever
it.
do like flowers or dots or
No, I've
anything?
never done. I remember I got a dot once when I had like a manicure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the only ever time I've done it, and I've not done it myself.
One
My
dot?
cousin does these like amazing things to herself.
Oh,
Right.
cool.
Yeah, these like outrageous nails.
Right.
Wonderful. Yeah.
I've
Laura.
had like a flower done. Like one of
Right.
those like little
Yeah.
with like a little
Stencil?
jewel in the middle.
Oh,
or
wow.
like on my toe.
On your toe. There you go.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
very classy. It was like the early 2000s.
Right.
So like, let's all be gentle on me because it was.
those things that never go out of fashion.
Yeah.
I love going to the nail salon and seeing the like little display of the
nails.
different nails you can get, and
all
some of them are like, how does anyone function?
I think you just get used to it and you go, this is my life.
But like,
This is it.
this is my
is
life.
how it is.
Like on your phone, like you know when I see people with those nails. If anyone is watching has really has long nails, how? I'm actually quite impressed that people manage
Right.
to navigate.
Life.
Because I can't, and I have no nails.
Right.
Like I'm like Mrs. Butterfingers.
We have a vote for Sparkles. Sparkle nail polish.
oh, I like
Nice.
sparkle nail
Yeah,
polish. Yeah.
Yeah, that's nice.
cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
How about you? New favorite thing?
Okay, so my new favorite thing is not staring at Facebook feeling, what did you call it? The garbage dump of the world.
Yeah.
And so trying to find activities that will make me feel like at least I'm trying to do something.
Yeah.
So the newest thing I found, my friend Kat Lang Tang, who's actually quite an activist herself, but she commented on something, so it came up, and it's a group called Helping Our Northern Neighbors.
Oh yes, I know this group.
Great.
Yeah.
So it's my new favorite thing.
Amazing.
So you can either sponsor a family or they have different call outs, and so the most recent is these kids need knapsacks filled with school supplies, and you send it to Nunavut where they are, which is probably going to be like $400 to send a fucking box, because a watermelon, guess how much a watermelon costs?
I know it's insane.
Oh, I bet it's like $10 more, right?
Like 50?
It's $70.
Yeah, I believe
for
it.
a watermelon.
Yeah.
A thing of juice is $20. Those little cups of fruit, $10. Like, it's just fucked.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
fucked.
it's absolutely
fucked, right?
yeah. It's a crisis. It's like a
crisis.
crazy crisis, and actually not enough is being spoken about it.
I don't think so.
There was
at
like
all.
a birthday cake thing people were doing. Do you remember that?
No.
Where it was like to make like a birthday cake with like icing and like streamers that you would get like at the dollar store. For us would be like probably max $15. You could
Yeah.
put together a whole kid's birthday party for $15. But like just the cake box is like $20 or something like that.
Yeah.
And they're like, so to put together this thing that would be very little, you can send like basically a birthday party,
Yeah.
which is just they're completely inaccessible to be able to get it.
Yeah.
These
Wow.
things like streamers
Yeah.
and balloons and
I
whatever
saw in the
else.
group, somebody was like, my kid's turning 1. I have no way of celebrating. Can
Right.
you send me a birthday box? Yeah.
Oh,
So
that
is this
breaks
just
my
this is a
heart.
group on Facebook?
This is a group on Facebook.
Okay.
It's called Helping Our Northern Neighbors.
Okay.
And you can sponsor a family, or you can send a kid a backpack, or, there's various ways that you can help.
That's great. We're gonna put the link up
Yeah.
so everybody can go and
For
find it.
sure.
and
I'm
get
gonna
help
look.
if they
I want to
to.
do that. I really do. I saw a documentary on CBC about what's happening in terms of groceries and supplies. And
Never mind water.
Never mind. Yeah.
Oh
let's
yeah,
not
just
even.
the no big deal of not having
Yeah.
drinking water.
Well, that's
Yeah.
great. That is something we can do, and I think I agree. Like in these times, of global chaos and terrifying news all the time.
Yeah.
It's nice to have things you can actually tangibly do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well,
Very nice.
wonderful.
Thank you.
Woohoo.
That just kind of leads right into how awesome you are.
Pretty much.
That you're
You pretty
like,
much
"Here's my
just
new
started
favorite
your
thing."
own hype. There
Right.
it is.
Yeah.
So the hype rules are you got to take the hype.
Okay.
So you can't like deflect or qualify.
What if it's wrong?
That's the second rule is you can correct
Okay.
wrong information.
Okay.
See, you're ahead of us. And then the third rule is what you're already doing, which is hype other people if you
Great.
want to. And we share the love here on Hype Night
Yeah.
Great.
all the time.
Yeah.
So Aviva, I already said that you're one of my favorite people to watch on stage.
That's nice. Thank
Ever.
you.
Like every show I've seen you in.
Thanks.
I'm like, it's so grounded, your acting.
Thanks.
Yeah, but it's also really like funny and whimsical and
Oh, good.
it's great.
Thanks.
Yeah.
That's nice.
I really love it.
Thank you.
If you ever see that Aviva's performing on stage near you, you should really go. That's what I say.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Taking the
Taking the high. So you've done so many shows. We're actually going to get into like various shows that you've done a little bit
Okay.
later in
Great.
our lightning round. But you're also you're a member of ARC, the Actors Repertory Company,
Yeah.
right? And you guys put on really fascinating shows.
Good.
Yeah, they're always like, I really always am like so interested in what they're often like really either they're very dark or they're quite unique. Like you program things that you won't see anywhere else in the city, I find.
Yeah. I think that's a testament to Hype, Chris Stanton.
Yay, Chris Stanton!
He's the artistic director of ARC, and he directs he's directed the last three shows.
Mm-hmm.
And he definitely has a fucking dark and fucked up mind, and encased in the most positive and lovely person.
I know.
He's such a sweet, sweet man with this really dark underside. And it's been a great learning experience for me watching him direct, because I like linear. I like beginning, middle, and end of a story, and he likes Twin Peaksy, like,
Right.
who knows why that's happening. And so at the beginning I was always kind of butting up against him and questioning his artistic choices because I didn't understand.
Right.
And then I would see his what seemed to me like arbitrary choices in action in front of an audience and see how they landed and see how they made everything richer and more interesting. And it's been a good learning for me to not be so linear all the time, I suppose.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Chris is fantastic. I used to do Fun Palace variety show with
Right.
Chris through Jacob Zimmer, who now is in Yukon.
Right.
But we used to do these crazy radio shows, and he and I would often start singing like what affectionately is known now as yacht rock. But we would go down these real rabbit holes of like the Doobie Brothers and Phil
Right.
Collins, and just like you couldn't stop us. And it brought me so much deep joy to riff with him. He's one of like the most fun people to improvise with and riff with.
Yeah. I don't think I've laughed so hard as I did in our last rehearsal.
Yeah.
Like crying,
Yeah.
laughing. And
Yeah.
the play's all like missing children and fucking interrogation, and we're like,
Well, you have to,
Yeah.
right? Otherwise, you're
Yeah.
like, what?
Yeah.
this is not fun.
And that's a hard thing to play over and over again, too.
Yeah.
I remember we were chatting about that.
Yeah.
About like when you do a dark show like that.
Yeah.
So what do you do? What do you do to like?
Yeah, what's your self-care
What's
regimen?
your self-care regimen on deep shows like that?
Alcohol and cigarettes, I would say.
Great.
Marijuana as well. It's
Yeah.
really helpful.
Yeah.
To an extent.
Everyone can join you in September. When is that happening? October?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or now.
Oh, now, yes. But
Or right now.
Right now.
But legally across the country, I guess.
Yes, for some of our viewers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that quickly tips into like, oh, too far, now I'm anxious.
Yeah.
And even more fucked up.
That's my thing with marijuana.
Right.
It's like such a fine line
Yeah.
between this is helping me and now I'm like anxious and paranoid.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's it's gonna be good with legislation, as
Yeah.
people, so they can understand like what they're getting and how strong it is and what they're smoking, because I feel like a lot of times people don't know what it is they have.
Oh, for
or they're
sure.
getting,
Right.
you know, like unless you have a prescription.
Yeah.
And you know kind of the strengths of things and what.
Yeah.
But I feel like people are like, oh, I'll just take a hit of that. What?
Yeah.
Why am I like tripping balls? And you're like, well, it's because you don't
Yeah.
do this type of thing normally. Yeah.
Right.
I think it's going to help people take the anxiety off. I don't know.
I hope so. That'd be great.
Yeah.
I hope
If you're watching this 6 months from now,
you're
tell
like,
me I'm wrong.
tell her she's wrong. Tell Dale she's wrong. But see, Dale, that's also an example, just to circle back, of your abundant positive attitude. Just gonna say.
I know. I'm optimistic.
I love how you begrudge it, but it's great.
I do, because I lost it for a while. I lost it.
Pal.
I did, and I was like, it was like a scary time.
Right.
Oh.
Because I am deeply optimistic, and I lost it. It's slowly coming back to me, but now I realize what it is to not have it.
Yeah, it's not a
What
good
made you
place.
lose it?
Postpartum depression,
Right.
Sure.
mostly. Yeah,
Right.
it was just gone, and then it came back, and I was like, oh,
I missed
hi,
that.
friend.
Hey, friends.
Well,
Yeah.
welcome back. Yeah.
Right. So
Yeah.
how long did that take to come back?
Oh, it's not fully back yet.
How long when you first went, oh, hi, friend?
Oh, it's probably been back for a couple of years now.
Slowly.
Yeah, slowly coming
Right,
back.
right.
Yeah, that I can see it, but also maybe now I just like see it because I recognize that it's there.
Yeah.
So I can say like,
Right. Yeah.
be like, you're an important part of me.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a coping mechanism too,
Oh, yeah.
Right.
you know.
Sure.
But yeah, I like being optimistic.
It's good.
It's
And you know,
better
that's
than
another
not.
thing. Yeah, that's another thing that's not talked about enough in this world is that.
Optimism?
Well, optimism, but postpartum depression and
Yeah.
like the realities of that.
Yeah.
I just want to advocate for more
Yeah.
conversations around that.
Even for
Absolutely.
myself, I want to talk about it like openly, but at the same time, I still feel strange talking. Like it doesn't feel.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like it's like an experience I had, but not an experience I could talk about. If that makes
Interesting.
sense.
How far away are you from it? Like, how old is your kid?
She's 4. Well, she's
Oh,
going to be 4 soon, so I'm
yeah.
not truly like out
No,
of
no,
it.
no. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
and it comes in different waves. It comes in different ways. Like I would say, like you know, I don't know. They say you can have another one when your children are like 7 or so.
Really?
Yeah,
Another
it can
wave?
come. Yeah, because you're just so depleted.
Yeah.
You're like the female body can get so depleted that you can't take care of yourself
Yeah.
to not have that happen.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's kind of a myth that people get it in their first year of their
Right.
children being born. A lot of
Yeah.
times it can hit later.
Yeah.
And then people just look at it as being like, oh, it's not the baby blues anymore. It's like,
Right.
now you're just depressed. Well, there's a
Right.
lot of hormones in your
Oh my
body
God.
trying to
What's
like find their
Tell me
way.
about it.
So
Yeah.
interesting how like everyone needs to always legislate everything.
Oh, I
Like,
know.
It has to be in this
Right.
category and
Yeah.
our bodies are not built like
No.
that at
Yeah.
all. It's the opposite
Yeah.
of how we function, right?
Yeah.
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 But there is a lot of like, I find personally, I'm like, I don't know how to talk about this, and there's stigma and all the rest of it too.
Right.
Yeah. Well,
So yeah.
It is
We-
important. I also think we're so isolated. We're not a culture of family.
yeah.
And, you know, back in the day in our caves, we had all the family around us. So that helped because you got to sleep a bit more.
Yeah, I mean, I
And-
think sleep just has a lot to do with it.
For sure.
You
And
know?
you were fed and,
Yeah.
you know, you weren't trying to do it all and you weren't alone, like, with this fucking glowworm.
Yeah.
Alone.
Well, there's also that thing about like they say like 4 days without sleep or something. Like there's some crazy like
Yeah.
it starts to make you, and you're like, well, that's
Yeah.
anybody with little kids.
Totally.
Yeah.
Fathers too. Like you're not
Yes.
sleeping. You're
Yeah.
not thinking right at all.
And to be fair, I also think we don't talk enough about what happens with fathers and with men and
Oh, for
caregivers
sure.
and stay-at-home dads and all of that. Like we don't actually talk about family or the family construct in any deep way.
Yeah.
Because we've sort of building our society to sort of isolate that and not give that space.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I
and
think
everybody's
it's,
online just winning. Just
Yeah.
winning at life.
Yeah.
Just
just
winning.
winning online.
Super winning.
Super winning. Anyway,
Yeah.
this is I want to say we embrace on Hype Night for sure the space to talk about these things and to celebrate people, women and men, and people who identify as any gender who are making that work for them and struggling and trying to raise kids because not easy.
Yeah, not easy.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Hype to all of you
Hype to y'all.
out there.
Yeah.
Aviva, I want to talk about Lab Cab.
Okay.
Because, so Lab Cab used to be this fantastic monthly show at the factory in the backspace. And you would do the show, it was a cabaret style show, so you would sign up and then, people would perform on the set of whatever show was happening back there, which was my favorite. And I want to say, I was talking recently to some friends of mine, that Lab Cab was at a time when you could do you could do like 4 shows a month. You could do a cabaret like that, and you could work on your material, you could try things, you could experiment. Playwrights could do readings of their plays, clowns would do turns, people would sing. And like some of the best people in the city would do stuff at that. I remember being at Lab Cab and like Bob Wiseman and like who's the other musician? Corin Raymond, and like plays by like just amazing playwrights. Ellie Ray Hennessy, like acting on stage, like just amazing things. You would see incredible things. Yeah. It was an amazing initiative.
It came sorry to use this word, but it did come organically because I was working there as front of house, talking about jobs. Jobs you have to have after you thought you were an actor. Nope. You're actually front of house.
Yeah.
So, which included cleaning the bathrooms of the really old building.
Right.
And then setting up the box office, and then also serving coffee and beer to everybody. And I remember thinking, like, this is actually too many jobs for one person in a 2-hour, from 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock. And there should be somebody on staff to clean the toilet. Like, that seems like there should be somebody. So I started it with a woman named Faraday Rudy. She also worked front of house. So we started this monthly cabaret, and we charged pay what you can, and then we hired someone to clean the bathrooms from the pay what you can. So it started as a initiative to clean the factory.
That's amazing, bathroom. But like, oh my gosh.
I had no idea that's where that came from.
That's where it came from. And then a year later, Nancy Webster was working there, and she was like, okay, you don't need to use your pay what you can money. Like, we'll find somebody to clean the bathrooms.
Yes.
And then we were able to create a grant out of that money. And annually we gave away a
grant. I remember the grant. Yeah. That's right.
I remember the grant.
Yeah.
Lab Cab grant.
Yeah.
And then it expanded, so then you did Lab Cab Festival, which took the whole factory theater, so every nook and cranny of that space, which I loved.
With hype, Andre Dutoit.
Andre Dutoit! So much hype to the wonderful Andre Dutoit.
Yeah.
Who now is designing lights all over the place and just a masterful lighting designer.
He's in Japan right now, not designing lights, but having a family vacation. Vacation. Yeah.
Oh, I hope you're having such a great time, Andre.
Yeah.
That was such a great festival. I did an installation there with my character.
Yeah.
And I remember, so I did like a 2-hour, like I was in character for 2 hours and people would come and go.
You did a lot of the cabarets though too, right?
I did a lot of the cabarets and then I did this installation and I remember.
Is this the one where you were in the thing? Never mind, I'll let you just.
No, that was a different one.
Okay.
But it was this character I was playing called Lupe, and I did this installation that then ended up becoming my friend's show.
Yeah.
And really, you were instrumental in the narrative of that, because I remember being like, I think I'm going to be waiting for my lover, and then like, I don't know, and I was like, I think it's going to maybe be this person, and it was like Ken Gass. It was like, because he was the artistic director of the Factory Theater. So I was like, my character is going to be like waiting for her lover, Ken Gass, and it's like a fake relationship. And you were like, yeah, I mean, or you could do somebody like, I don't know, David Mervish. And I was like, oh yeah, that's way better. And then I built a whole show about that, and then ended up doing it in the back of the Honest Ed's alleyway. Amazing. And like advertised it as David Mervish, and met David Mervish and talked to him about the show. And all of that was because you were like, yeah, I guess you could do Ken Gass, or you could do David Mervish.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so nice. I owe you that beautiful suggestion.
Hype Ken Gass and David Mervish.
Hype Ken Gass and David Mervish for sure. But really, like, I can't say enough how important it was and is, but in the context of Lab Cab and Lab Cab Festival, which then was on Parkdale, part of Parkdale and Parkdale.
That was exciting.
Yeah, and it's like the amount of community engagement you do and like trying to build spaces for artists to explore and to play and experiment is just so fantastic.
That's the only thing I miss about it.
Yeah.
Is meeting somebody new, and they're like, well, I've written some poetry, and not having that opportunity to say, like, you should do lab cab. Because that was my favorite thing, is somebody's, like, hidden talent over here, or they're working really hard at something and they don't have that opportunity, is being able to give them that platform. I definitely don't miss producing it.
No, it's so much work.
No, it'd be a mountain. Absolutely.
Producing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's exhausting, and producing live stuff is really...
Yeah.
It's thankless.
Right?
Yeah.
It's thankless a lot of the time.
Well, it's not really financially thankful.
Yeah, there's that too.
It's not like, here's your work and here's the equal amount of money that goes with that work.
Yeah.
That doesn't exist.
Yeah. But of course something like Lab Cab comes out of working front of house and seeing how like an organization or a system works and saying, here's a gap. I could take advantage of this gap and do something with it. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm going to do it. Like, that only comes out of being in front of house and just, because when I think about the things that I did when, like, work, because I worked box office and front of house and stuff like that, and I remember distinctly, like, can I get a night at the theater and do something at the, because it was like, because I used to work at the Diesel, and the Diesel was there, I was like, maybe I can get the little space and do something with it.
Yeah.
That comes from being in those spaces,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's really hard to, I find whenever I'm in any kind of space that I really love that feels creative, and I see an empty theater or an empty, I'm always like, ooh, what could happen here? Like, what could people come and see and be a part of here? Like, it's that excitement of filling that space with art and energy and people that's... makes sense.
And something about architecture too, right?
Yes.
Like that building, the factory is such a beautiful building, and there's so many weird, fucked up crawl spaces.
It really
because
are.
It's two buildings united, right?
Yeah.
From different time periods. So there are spaces where you're like, it feels spooky in here, and it's because this building and this building were just put together.
Yeah. Like you would never feel like whenever I'm in the main space area or the main space green room.
Yes.
I'm always like, I don't feel like I'm in the same theater as when I'm in the backspace, and I'm not, but like the whole vibe.
But even the green room is the house.
Yes.
And the theater is separate.
Something else. Yeah. It's a fascinating place.
Yeah,
and I like
beautiful.
to, like, I feel like you, for me, are connected to two theaters in a big way. That theater and Passe Muraille.
Hype Passe Muraille.
Hype to Theater Passe Muraille. Mostly because I remember seeing you in the Rochdale Project, which was an awesome play about the beginnings of Passe Muraille.
Yeah.
And Toronto, the history of Toronto theater. And I loved that show, and I loved you in it, and I always associate that space with you now.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I grew up there. I definitely learned to take photographs there because there's, in the basement, it was the shop where they built the sets, and we would party there every Thursday night. And did you go to those?
I think I might have gone to one or two. Yeah, right. I wasn't a regular there.
I was a regular. Like, I lived there. Like, I would plan, like, sorry, I can't do Friday morning because I know I'm going to
I know I'm going to that party, yeah.
Yeah. And so many people. And real sense of community. And I wanted to document it because I felt like this is special. Like, all these people are here smoking in the basement. Passe Muraille, like one of those vortex spaces, you know?
Yeah.
And so I started taking photographs there and felt like, now I have a lot of negatives.
That's cool. Well, you should do a show. You should do like an exhibit.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah. Maybe.
Yeah.
A bit more time.
Yeah, let some time pass, and then that would be great.
Yeah.
I would go see that.
Yeah.
I like the space. I like the big space in the Passe Muraille.
But it is their 150th. No, that's Canada. Their 50th.
Yeah, that's right.
And so Andy's put together a book. Hype Andy McCann.
Hype Andy McCann.
Yeah.
So much hype to Andy McCann.
He's put together a book of the history of Passe Muraille. Yeah. So there might be a couple of shop photos in there.
Well, that's a perfect segue into the Drawer Boy.
The Drawer Boy!
So, you co-directed and produced the film adaptation of the seminal Michael Healy play, The Drawer Boy. Canadian classic play.
Yeah.
Beautiful play.
Yeah.
And you've adapted it into a beautiful film.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, I just love it. I went to see it at Theater Passe Muraille because part of their 50th celebration.
Right. I was like, why is there, I feel like so many people saw it at Passe Muraille. That's right. Okay. Anyway, I haven't seen the film. I've seen the trailer.
Right. Yeah.
I will see it when it is available for me to see.
Well, I think it will have a theatrical presentation at sometime soon, hopefully. So if you want to see The Jar Boy, and you should see it, because it's a fantastic... it's really hard to, I think, make movies... make a kind of... hold the tension in a movie like that. Like, it's very impressive how you and Arturo, how you managed to do that.
Oh, thanks.
It's quite splendid, and the acting is really beautiful.
Right. I would definitely credit the script and the acting.
Yes, and I would also say the co-direction.
I will take the hype.
I was like, I'm just going to say.
Also, the acting's really good, so is the script.
Yes, the script is fantastic, and the acting is lovely. And I really feel like, there's a lot of Canadian stories. There's so much talk about Canadian stories and celebrate Canadian stories, and we want to hear Canadian stories, and then I think Canadian stories come about and they're executed really well, and actually a lot of the people who give it that lip service don't actually then invest in those projects.
Admittedly, I feel like I'm one of those people. Like, the amount of times that on Netflix, when I'm gonna chill out and watch a movie, that I'm like, what's Canadian, is less than 1 in 10 times.
Right.
That I choose a Canadian film to watch, or like make the effort to go and see a Canadian film when it's in the theater. I don't really do that as much as
I feel like most people do it on airplanes, on Air Canada.
Right.
I think airplanes are trapped. Yeah.
You go like, these are my 6 choices. I'm going to choose the Canadian one.
Right.
Yes.
I do it a lot on a plane.
Now, do you think, I have like an actual question for you and for anyone who's watching, because I'm really curious about this. Do you think that if the content, do you think that it's because the way the content is presented to you or what the content isn't appealing to you? Or do you think it's because you have a sense of the fact that it's Canadian? Like, is it the Canadian part that is either attracting or deterring you? Or does it simply have to do with how it's marketed or what kinds of movies they are?
I'm going to say both.
Okay.
I definitely have a stigma where I feel like, it's Canadian, it's not going to be that good.
Okay.
Probably that's true.
Okay.
And often when I want to watch a movie, I want to be numbed. So I'm going to watch, like, crap.
Right.
So I can not think about the garbage can of the world.
Yeah.
And I feel like Canadian movies are smarter. So they maybe are demanding more. I'm making like such huge generalizations.
No, that's cool. That's cool. Anything is allowed here.
I'm jumping on this generalization because I feel like my perception of a lot of Canadian films is that they are important and that I have to watch them with importance.
Interesting.
But I want to see, and I'm sure they must be out there, I want to see unimportant Canadian films.
Right.
Interesting. I find all of this very interesting. Yeah. Because I think, like, sure, I do have definitely bias around it. I think a lot of Canadian people do. Partly because there has been a lot of filmmaking because we don't have as much money here and because the systems by which we get that money are highly flawed in terms of who gets money and how it gets disseminated and how much that is, that I think there is something to be said about the fact that our filmmakers in this country and our actors and our screenwriters do not get enough opportunities to actually build their craft in a way that people in other parts of the world sometimes do. Yes. I think that is actually true and worth probing. Yeah. But then I also think that, I think we there's also like a kind of obligation that gets a mantle that gets placed on us that like we must support it, and then I think naturally because we're human beings we go, don't tell me what to do. Like there's a kind of like
I know as myself as a theater artist myself who is a little bit on the fringe of Canadian theater, I would say, who has written and produced more commercially fun pieces, who doesn't get the welcoming, warm hug of Canadian theater and the importance of it. I think that there's a place for silly things and a place for stuff, and I don't think it makes it any less important or any less Canadian for being that.
Yes.
But it's also like they're also not welcomed in.
No, I agree.
The work that I do is not like, we need more zombies. Like, oh my gosh, meanwhile, it can be produced all over the world, you know,
Right.
but it's
Yeah.
here, it's like, did you see them? I didn't see it.
Well, the irony is, of
It's-
course,
yeah.
that the silly, wacky stuff we do here gets exported just fine, and people go other places in the world and produce it en masse
Right.
and get celebrated
Yes.
for it.
Yeah.
So we are missing that piece of like making space in the marketplace and in
For our own content.
for our own content
Yeah.
that is all the things.
Yeah.
You know.
I'm going to add here from our very own Matt.
Hi, Matt.
That there's usually a lack of marketing that makes me not want to watch Canadian movies. There's
Right.
so much to watch that I seek out and I already want to see. And that's
Right.
true. I mean,
That's very true.
how can you even like compete?
With marketing budgets from like the
Right.
U.S.
You
and-
can't.
Yeah,
where
you can't.
the marketing budgets are like 10 times what it took to make the movie.
Well, and
know.
yeah.
There's no way.
And what a Canadian TV, I feel like we have a reputation for being funny.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
yes we
So
do.
Is that
Yeah.
different?
But
But-
even then, you could look at some of our broadcasters and look at who's getting ads and who isn't.
Right.
You could, yeah.
You know, and look
Yeah.
and go, we have such amazing, funny content. Where is the advertising campaign to support this funny content?
Mm-hmm.
You know,
There's so much. What we're gonna say is, I'm gonna sum this up in saying that the climate is ripe for disruption, and we are. I think all three of us are advocates of that disruption.
yeah.
Hype disruption.
Hype to disruption.
disruption.
That's my theme.
Mm.
But so in this climate, where it is so challenging to make a movie, where it is so challenging to make a movie well, you did just that.
You managed to do it.
And you went. This film has traveled now to so many festivals. You were at the Heartland Film Festival in Indiana, the Morelia International Film Festival in Mexico, the Bahamas International Film Festival. Did you go to
Did
the
you go to
Bahamas?
the Bahamas?
Didn't go to the Bahamas.
Damn.
No. But I did go to Anchorage, Alaska.
Yes,
Okay.
that's right.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah.
That was really fun. I really liked seeing most of the festivals that I've experienced. The theater is in sort of a suburb of the little town.
Okay.
So I didn't really experience Indianapolis or Ohio or wherever. Arturo says it's like we're in witness protection, like we could be anywhere.
Oh my god, that's great. and
then,
hype
you
to
know,
Arturo as well.
Arturo Perez Torres.
Yes.
Yeah, the director of the film. And the reason that it got done.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he is the most productive person I know.
Cool.
Yeah. So the reason the film is made is because of him.
Yeah.
Because I would still be like, what word can I use to describe when writing my grant? Years later. But Anchorage,
Yeah.
it was, the festival's right in the town.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Cool.
That's great.
Yeah.
And I've read there's so many like great like reviews from local people in all these
Yeah.
places talking about the impact of the film on them, and I think it's so interesting. It's like I feel very proud that this like beautiful play by like hype to Michael Healy for the wonderful play,
Yeah.
and that play that has such a long legacy in Canada and is related to a show. The Farm Show, which is like the starting of Toronto theater and
Yeah.
Theater Pass Mariah and all these things. It's
Yeah.
like that legacy that is ours is now going around the world and people are connecting to it.
Yeah.
That's so amazing.
Yeah. That's what proves to me it's a good story, because it
Yeah.
is universally appealing. for
Yes. Yeah, I love that. And you won a slew of awards. We're going to say them because
Okay.
it's the best.
Yeah.
You won Best Feature at the Oxford Film Festival, Best Adapted Screenplay at the Sedona Film Fest, Best Feature and Audience Choice Award at Green Bay Film Festival, Best Feature at the Alaska Film Festival, Best Premiere Award at the Heartland Film Festival, and you were also shortlisted for the Best Film there. Is that right? There's
At
something.
Heartland, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's all
Kind of
yes,
the same.
Yeah.
But they loved you there is basically what it's saying. And you were Critics' Choice at the Morelia Film Fest. Then Richard Clarkin and Stuart Hughes, who are in the film. And
Hype.
oh my goodness, Richard Clarkin and Stuart Hughes. Like, the relationship that those two men play in that movie.
I mean, it's riveting in the 2.5-minute trailer.
It's like, if you want to see, it is, but if you want to see, like, a masterclass in acting,
Yeah.
and in understated, deep, emotional relationship,
Yeah.
it's just really
They're really beautiful.
beautiful.
And Jacob Eamon, too.
Yes, and
Like him.
Jacob, yes, beautiful. And so they were both, so Richard and Stuart were nominated for ACTRA Screen Awards, and Stuart won. And I was there that night, and he gave such a beautiful speech.
Didn't he?
Yeah,
I
it was
know.
really nice.
And also hype to the nicest people. Like, you could not ask to work for nicer or with nicer people.
Yeah.
Like the kind of guys that are like, do you need me to move the sandbag? Like, just on board.
That's great.
And you've got this many crew and even less money and everybody's stressed out and they are so gracious and helpful and on board, committed, and then deliver these beautiful performances. It's, you know, a lot of people are talented, but I feel like not a lot of people are super nice, and these guys are both.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also a testament, the performances, I think, are also a testament to the casting, like to you and Arturo, like you understanding who those characters are and really trusting those actors. And I remember you telling me that there was like, one of them didn't really think he should, like there was some resistance to the person didn't think that really it was right for them, and you knew and you supported that.
Forced him, I think, is the word.
Yeah, you forced him. Listen, sometimes people need to be forced.
Sometimes
when it
people
comes
don't
to
know their own
casting.
hype.
Yeah, sometimes people don't know their own
Well,
hype.
also, to his credit, that character, there's Angus and Morgan, and Angus has had a brain injury, so he has no short-term memory. And often, in the play and in the script, he's referred to as simple a lot, and he's often played as kind of goofy, a little bit goofy, and it's where a lot of the charm of the play lives. And we decided that we maybe wanted to go not with the funny and more with the drama. And Stuart, I think, I mean, he's an excellent comedian, but he felt like, well, I'm more of a Morgan, like I'm more serious. You should get some goofy guy to play Angus.
Right.
But I think now he sees that I was right.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's riveting. And it played at the Canadian Film Festival.
Yes.
You had a screening there.
You won there too.
You did, that's right.
Yeah,
you won there too.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Just clean it up. And I like it. And you're going to hopefully have a theatrical.
Yes.
It's on the way. So we will, in like our social posts about what people are up to, we'll definitely give that hype. Because, yeah, it's exciting.
I hope so. I hope people get to see it. That'd be nice.
Yeah, and then hopefully it lives on the interwebs as well.
Yeah.
So people at home can see it.
People can see it.
Yeah. It might very well, and we will also update you about that. Yeah. You're also a wonderful photographer. You mentioned photography, and you took my picture for when I did Beautiful Man. Remember you took our pictures for Summerworks?
Yeah.
Those were great photos you took.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. Beautiful Man, great play by Aaron Shields and directed by Andrea Donaldson.
Yeah.
Having another life at the factory next season.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So, pretty great. All hypeable, awesome women.
Did photography just, like, is it something that you always did, or is it something that you found later? Like,
I found at Passe Muraille where I was like, I need to take pictures of this because it's so cool. And then I realized I really liked taking pictures. Mm-hmm. And then because we were in a dark pit of a basement, I learned about light and how you need light to take pictures.
Right.
How to wield the light to your
So I have a lot of pictures of like people under one bulb, like.
Oh, great! That's awesome.
And then I started thinking that I could be more of a professional photographer and doing show pictures. And I did a couple of weddings, and every single wedding, something went wrong.
Oh, no.
Every single, like the
high
worst
stakes,
one,
man.
The highest of stakes.
It's a high stakes
and
game.
it just didn't work. Something went kirk. Like I did somebody's backyard wedding, and I went to get the film developed. It was still film time. And I was like, these 4 rolls of color and these 4 rolls of black and white. And they were like, there's no color. You took 8 rolls of black and white. Yeah. And the person was so mad at me that it was horrible. 'Cause they were like, well, that's my backyard, my like colorful summer backyard wedding. No color pictures. And then my other friend
oh my goodness,
asked me to just kind of do fun shots.
Yeah.
And I got a couple fun shots, but then the whole Dante family from Italy, the first time we've been together in 40 years, gone. Like the film got eaten.
Oh my god.
And then another one was
it's too
my
hard
friend
of a
Amber's wedding, like same thing, like the film just got fucked. Like like over, and I don't know what happened. So then I was like, I obviously can't take wedding photos.
That's the most stressful. Like,
It's
I
too
don't think I
stressful.
could handle that stress.
No.
Like,
Nor should you.
nor should,
No.
yeah, no.
Even
I
if
mean,
they're
I can't take good enough pictures
Like,
to
even
even
if
try to have that
pictures
job.
are
but-
done well at a wedding, I feel like you're still disappointed.
Yeah?
Yeah, I feel like even if they're done well, you're like,
Are you disappointed?
No,
as good as my life was.
we
You're
loved our
beautiful.
pictures.
Yeah.
But so here's the thing. When we were planning our wedding, we made a list of like what were the 5 most important things for both of us.
Yeah.
To try and like line up our planning.
Yeah.
And Matt's number 1 thing was photography, to the point where we interviewed all these photographers and we would meet with them, and Matt would be like, cool, so I want all the raw files. I don't
Right.
need you to do any editing.
Right.
I want you to shoot this way. I want and he had these specific things, and there
Yeah.
were several photographers who were like, so I don't think I'm the photographer for you. Like
Right.
where they would be like, I have this package for you that has this.
Right.
And Matt would
Yeah.
be like, I don't need
I don't
half
want
of that. I
Right.
just want you to give me these raw photos.
Right.
And so we found our photographer through Matt doing a random search on the internet of Toronto wedding photographers and finding the pictures that had the light exactly the way he wanted it.
Mm-hmm.
And then we did a test shoot with her for our engagement photos in our wedding venue, so she
Right.
could plan the light. Like, it was
Right.
very specific
well,
because
this is very a lot.
because Matt
It's
is
very low.
Matt's a filmmaker and a cinematographer, and
Right.
so he was like, I can't.
I love both of
Yeah.
you. This is so much.
Yeah, it was a lot, and I was like, ooh, because I don't like. I have such a thing around making people feel
Right.
uncomfortable or like
Pressure,
pressure, and Matt was like, no, just not right. Like,
Yeah.
and to those photographers' credit, they could recognize that and be like, oh no, I know what you want. And
not
my
me.
packages aren't like, that's
Yeah.
not me. And the photographer we went with was like, she was also just the coolest, most awesome person.
Do you want to hype her?
I do, Jillian Williamson, and she used to work for Iconica, which is the company that we went through, but now she's on the West Coast. But it's Jillian Williamson. So if you're on the West Coast, she was also starting to DP a lot. Like, yeah.
That's probably because she
Has the
knows
eye.
what looks
Yeah,
good.
she, like, talk about bending light to your will, and, like, it was really what we wanted. The one thing I do regret, though, is we didn't build in any time, because of the way our wedding was scheduled, to have pictures with some family member. Like, we had it with our immediate family members, but there are some extended family members that I wish I had
Right.
pictures with.
Right.
But
It's hard.
you can. I think, like, in terms of weddings, there's nothing, no matter whether you're having, going to City Hall, small wedding, large 500-person hall wedding, or anything in between.
Yeah.
There's going to be something about that day that doesn't go the way you wanted to, or
Right.
that you didn't, like, at
Or in
least one
retrospect,
thing, or in
you're like,
retrospect you would do
yeah.
differently.
Right.
And it's just the way it is.
That's
Right.
just it.
You know?
Yeah.
I have a
And-
question from the interweb.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite photographer?
Oh,
Anybody that you love?
that's a great question.
Anyone off the top of your head?
No,
That's fair.
I don't know anybody off the top of my head. I'm pretty ignorant. I like old-timey photos. I like black and white photos. I appreciate the people that can take a picture of a building and it has a feeling to it.
Yeah.
That's always impressive.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Or
Yeah.
even landscapes. Like, almost all of us take a picture of a landscape that's so stunning and the picture's flat. And so
Right.
there's an art to it.
Yeah.
I'm really drawn to broken down, dilapidated buildings.
Yes.
That kind of stuff I love.
Yeah, I like things that have been touched.
I like demolished
Like
things.
just touched.
Me
Yeah.
too. But
Like-
portraits.
Oh.
Like, how do you get in people's faces without altering? Aside from, like, super long lens. But people, Andy Leibovitz, obviously,
Right.
like, can capture somebody's essence. Most people, when you put the camera up to them, they change, right? You don't get the essence. Or if you can get, like, a dynamic between somebody and you having your camera there doesn't change that dynamic, that's a skill. So I don't know any names off the top of my head, but that kind of photography where you're capturing a feeling somehow.
Right. Cool.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
That's so cool. I just got a camera, so I ask.
Yeah.
It's just like starting to play.
Yeah.
I do love taking pictures.
Like, yeah, just starting to play.
Yeah. That's great. That's how it is. Explore, right?
Yeah.
Curious.
That's it.
Curiosity.
Yeah.
That's it.
I have thousands of pictures for myself.
Nice. I think it's time for the
I
lightning
think
round.
so. Let's do it.
So we're gonna go through some of the shows you've been in, some
Okay.
of the plays you've been in. It's a sampling.
Okay.
So here we go, Dale.
Divine.
Pomona.
The Great War.
Hedda Gabler.
Age of Arousal.
Moment.
He left quickly.
Or did he leave quietly?
Oh, he left quietly. Never mind. I'll have another one of these.
Jesus Chrysler.
Allure Gorge.
Biographies of the Dead and Dying.
9 Parts of Desire.
The Last Days of Judas Iscariot.
The Gladstone Variations, 2008.
And the Gladstone Variations, 2007.
And the Rochdale Project.
Yeah.
Rochdale?
That's the one I was, yeah.
Nice.
That's the one. And The Last Days of Judas Iscariot. I love that play, and I loved you in that play.
Tell me about Allure Gorge.
That's such a good play.
Isn't that such a good play? Anyway,
Yeah.
Last Days of Judas Iscariot, hype to Stephen Hadley Gurgis.
Hype to Stephen
All the way.
Yeah. He's a good playwright. He just had a good piece on his Facebook about procrastination,
Oh, yeah?
saying everybody procrastinates. So here's the question you ask yourself. Am I willing at this time to make a positive change? So the answer can be no,
Yeah.
I'm not willing, or no, not at this time. And that pressure's off. You can plug in Facebook all you want. Or, yes, I am.
Yeah. His Twitter is amazing.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah. And, like, his tweets about Donald Trump are, like... No, like, he is, like, he's done. And so his tweets are, like, amazing. Him and David Simon are both, like,
Right.
the way that they're tweeting about the politics right now is,
Yeah.
like, refreshingly clear and
Right.
blunt,
Right.
you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
He's great.
Allure Gorge was written by Chris Stanton.
Chris Stanton.
Oh.
The
Okay.
Weird Mind of Chris Stanton.
Okay.
That's the first time that I was like, why am I being a bird? I don't get it. Am I the doctor? Am I the bird? What the fuck? And he was like,
Yeah.
doesn't really matter.
It's like Allure Gorge.
Oh my god. That's so Chris Stanton too. He's got such an animated face.
And laugh.
And laugh. You've never heard, like, he laughs like a cartoon character in, like, the best way.
Anything is pretend.
Yeah.
Like, stop faking your crazy laugh.
No, but that's his laugh.
Like,
Yeah, it's like an Elmer Fudd kind of laugh, but, like, legit, like, that's his laugh.
That's great.
It's great.
That's
Chris
great.
Stanton, we love you
That's great.
so much.
I think it's time for the
time for
best part of our
best
day.
part of our day.
Best part of our day.
oh yeah.
It goes so quickly.
Yeah.
Okay, so the best part of my day relates to the new thing,
Yes.
which is I went into a store. Well, first of all, best part of my day, hanging out with my kid, going to see my mom. One of those days where you're like, my life's blessed. I'm on the subway, I've got a kid and a mom. I'm lucky. And I leave my kid with my mom, and I walk down the street, and I go into this store called Eco Existence. And it's got the beautiful oils that you can put on your face, but also the cool little clippity lunch things, and all eco-friendly products and stuff. And I ask the woman, I tell her about the helping our northern friends, and she's like, let me donate a backpack. And she hands me this brand called So Young, which is a beautiful Canadian-made brand. And it's a beautiful knapsack, perfect for the grade 2 girl.
Oh.
And like a quality knapsack, you know, it's not going to rip in a year. And it's all lined inside, and it's just beautiful. And it's, you know, I can't afford to get that knapsack for somebody else. So she gave it to me, and that was the best part of my day, because it was nice. People so hyped to eco-existence on St. Clair.
What a wonderful hype.
Yeah.
What a wonderful thing.
That's
what
so
a
great.
wonderful thing.
Yeah. Now this little girl's gonna get this awesome. It's got a deer on it.
Oh,
I love it.
Just a print of a deer.
Oh, I'm so gonna go to that
great.
store.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's great.
That's great.
We should put a link to them. We'll find them
Yeah,
and we'll put a link up. so we
Eco-Existence.
can-
St. Clair, I love St. There's a lot of
Yeah.
good stuff up on St.
Yeah,
Clair.
there is, and that's
Yeah.
one of them.
Cool.
The best part of my day was my husband texted me and said, there's a little bird in our yard and it's being fed by another bird in our yard. So be careful, there's a little baby bird in our
Like
yard.
on the ground.
On our bench. And so then I was like, what? So I ran out to look at the little bird, and there was a little bird was sitting on our bench. It was probably like this big. And it was just sitting there on the, and you know when you're like, oh, you're a baby bird, but like you're probably gonna fly soon. Like
Right.
this is probably part of the process, and this is your first like, oh shit,
Right.
I'm not in my nest anymore. I'm
Right.
down here.
Yeah.
But turns like I definitely saw the mother bird here with it.
Right.
So there's something, you know, we're like, okay. We're like, I'm not really worried for you, but you're here. And it was there for hours. we put out a little dish of water for it in case it needed a drink. Because I was like, oh, I think I read somewhere that, like, you're supposed to put water out for animals.
Yeah.
I was like, we'll put water out for it. And then I looked, and its tail was, like, the edge of its tail was bright yellow. I was like, I've never seen a bird like this before at all. Went to go pick up my daughter, brought her back. And I was like, do you want to sit and look at the baby bird? So we sat and we looked at the baby bird, and I got my phone out and I was like, let's try to figure out what kind of bird this is. Like, let's be bird watchers. I've never seen this kind of bird before in my life, or the mother bird. It was a cedar waxwing.
Oh.
I think is what they call it, a cedar waxwing. It's a black mask and a white, a yellow tipped tail. It was the coolest bird. It's the mother bird almost looks like a lovebird, like one of those kind of a
like
greeny, pinky greeny kind of beautiful bird.
Right.
It's like, what is this beautiful baby bird doing? So then the mother bird was starting freaking out. Was like, what are you guys doing? So we're like, okay. So we left the bird alone, and then after a few hours, it just flew away.
Oh,
Best part of my day.
beautiful.
That bird was like real cool.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
That reminds me.
It poops so much though on
Yeah.
it poops so much.
It's a lot. Babe, what are you gonna do?
It was only
That's
there
what
for
it
a
says.
few hours.
I know.
And my whole
little mound.
it was insane.
That actually, this story reminds me of Chris Stanton, because Chris Stanton, we were rehearsing, and he had his daughter with him, who was adorable and is adorable, but this was a couple years ago, and she was younger, and she was running in the hallway, and we were playing, and we went to like, at the Witchwood Barns, we went and there was like a fire escape, and you could see it was like a window to the fire escape or a door, and there was a pigeon sitting on eggs, and then like the pigeon, I think it was a pigeon, it was a pigeon-like bird,
Sure.
Sitting on like on a nest with eggs, and like it was being replaced by like another bird. Like we watched.
Like turns.
Yeah, we
Wow.
watched this turn happen. Me and Chris Stanton's daughter,
Right.
like, just stood there and, like, both were sort of like, whoa, never actually seen that
Right.
happen.
The
Yeah.
changing of the guard.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
cool. Anyway, that reminded me.
It's cool to just take a moment and be like, I'm going to sit and look at a little bird for like 20
Yeah.
minutes.
Totally.
It was awesome.
Well, and my best part of my day ties into that. So I decided this morning that I was going to wake up earlier and, like, not get as much sleep to go for a walk in the park, because I've been like not actually I started a new job and I haven't really figured out a routine for myself where I actually get in self-care.
Right.
And I was starting to feel like if I don't do this, I'm going to start really drowning here. So I got up and I walked to Dufferin Grove Park, and I walked around a bit, and then I sat, and I just sort of sat and watched. And it reminds me of, like, I think it was when we had Susan Coyne on the show, and she was talking about, like, the people in a park. And I just sat there and I watched, like, you know, squirrels and birds and whatever. And then in this one corner, there were these people doing Tai Chi. And I love watching people do Tai Chi. But it was great because there was a woman doing it, and she obviously was, like, very masterful at it. And there was a guy behind her, like, trying to follow, and I couldn't tell if she knew that the guy was behind her. Like, from my vantage point, at first I was like, because he wasn't very good. And he was, like, sort of, like, behind her the whole time, like, in terms of tempo. Like, he was, like, and I was like, did he just like, walk behind her? And then, but then it kept going on long enough that I was like, well, she knows he's behind her. So
Because you turn and
yeah, exactly. She's, like, here, and he's behind her.
Yeah.
But it was, like, fascinating to watch, and also really meditative. And then at one point in Dufferin Grove Park, there's like a little house that looks like a hobbit's house.
A Smurf house.
Yeah, and it's my favorite. Like, if I could live in the Shire, I would gladly. Like, I love everything about it. I'm such a fantasy geek, and I love particularly that. And so I looked over, and the sun was coming through the trees and just lighting the Shire, and I was like, this is the most magical moment. And I just sat and stared at this, like,
nice.
It was really lovely. It was like a really calm, and I love when the city is quiet like that.
Yeah.
What time was that?
That was at 6:20 maybe? Yeah, I woke up at 6.
That's amazing that you can wake up at 6 and go and sit in the park.
But if I don't,
No, but that you have the discipline to do that.
well, this is the thing, is like I'm working on the discipline. I go in and out of having the discipline, so thank you for
you
saying
did
that.
it.
I did, and if I don't make that time for myself in the morning to do something, I'm it catches up with me and I'm a mess.
Right.
So it's
and
that's
how does
amazing.
Messy manifest? Like bitchy or
tight
sad?
and like avoiding all my feelings.
Right.
And then they all like bubble up in me and then I like freak out and
on the bus driver or somebody.
On anybody
Right.
and on myself, and I'm
Right.
mean to myself. The way it manifests really is like I'm so mean to myself.
Yeah.
I judge myself. I'm outside of myself all the time.
Right.
I'm like constantly judging myself.
Right.
And so the only way for me to try and work through that and not have my day be totally that is for me to make time to either go for a walk or like meditate or do a practice or stretch or like whatever, you know, there's a variety of things.
Yeah.
But if I don't, I'm just like not nice to myself.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So
It's better to get up at 6.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, ask me like a week from now how I like feel about that, because then it's also hard because I love sleep. I really love it.
I love
deeply.
sleep.
Like I deeply love it. And I also like cuddling in the morning.
Right.
I'm like a big cuddle person.
Yeah.
So I'm like, when we could just like hang out and like
Cuddle.
cuddle. But
I think the answer is not having a job.
yeah, well, listen. But the thing is, can I be honest, is like
Yeah.
when I don't have a job, I use that a bit as an excuse, because when I don't have a job, I'm not always great at it either, right?
Yeah,
like
no,
I
no,
think
fair,
I think it's a combination.
Yeah, yeah.
I think sometimes even with all the time in the world,
Yeah.
I'm avoiding it.
Yeah.
Because frankly, part of me is holding on to that part of me that's mean to myself, because I think somehow I have to be productive or I have to be on top of myself or something.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. But anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We all have that voice.
Sure.
Some are louder than others.
That's it.
Yeah.
But that was the best part of my day.
That's wonderful.
nice
First
day.
thing.
That's great. Well, listen.
This was delightful, and like we went way over time, but I'm happy about
Hey,
it.
that's all good.
That's what it.
No,
No,
that's
never apologize. That
No.
means the conversation was great.
Yeah, it was a wonderful conversation.
Yay.
And thank you everybody for coming out and watching Hype Night, and thank you
Yeah.
Aviva for coming
Thank
on.
you, Aviva.
Thank you very much for having me.
Our
Again,
pleasure.
like we say almost every time, if you enjoy watching the show, head on down to the reviews and please review the page. It really helps other people find out about the page, because then when you share the reviews, then everybody else gets to see them. So please go down and review it.
And thank you to those of you who have reviewed us. We will be back soon.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we'll see you then.
Yeah.
Hype night.
Hype. Hype.